Hello, everyone. I'm thrilled to have you all here today to hear about uniform trends and solutions, rebranding, refreshing, and staying relevant. As a current customer of the Buyer's Edge platform and its brands, you have access to all of our relationships and benefits with ChefWorks. Today's webinar will give you some great things to consider with regards to uniform trends and solutions. Should you wish to take advantage of anything that you learn about or you want more information, please click the link that is posted in the chat feature and we will reach out directly to you. If you are not currently a customer of the Buyer's Edge platform brands, we're so happy that you're here. Signing up with us is super simple. You will gain access to our ChefWorks partnership and so much more. If you're interested in getting started, please use that same link that is in the chat feature. Before I introduce our speakers, some usual housekeeping notes. We are encouraging lots of questions today, so anything you're wondering, put those questions in the questions feature in the GoToWebinar page. Before you go, download the handouts that are also in the GoToWebinar page. Some of the solutions that you will be hearing about today are outlined in those documents and are a great resource for you to take back with you. Along with those handouts, I will also be sharing some videos that the ChefWorks team has provided for us throughout the presentation, so keep an eye out on the chat feature for those. And last, this is being recorded and will be shared with you at the end of the presentation, so you have access to it as well as a lot of other fantastic content that's on our website, and I will put that in the chat feature as well. So let me introduce our talent and our fabulous partners at ChefWorks. The team of experts with us today are Holly Cordell, Director of National Accounts at ChefWorks. She's a seasoned professional of 17 years with ChefWorks, of which 10 have been spent developing national programs. Holly is responsible for overseeing the program design, development, implementation, and managing teams that ensure the long-term success of their clients' programs. Holly has extensive experience in the restaurant industry, hospitality, gaming, club, and senior living industries. Her expertise includes a thorough understanding and value of a successful uniform program and the most recent challenges that have arisen within various industries due to COVID-19. Enrique Perez, VP of Global Supply Chain and Operations at ChefWorks, has worked in the apparel business for more than 20 years and has become known internationally for his application of lean into this industry. He has led teams across many countries that have quickly brought results with quicker lead times and lowering costs. Enrique is a practitioner of people-centric leadership and drives everything back to what makes a company great, its people. He currently oversees product and technical development, purchasing, raw material management, quality assurance, and global sourcing operations. Amanda Stuckey, Vice President of Marketing at ChefWorks. For more than 7 years, Amanda has curated the marketing department of ChefWorks. Through ambitious and fearless campaigns, she has helped the ChefWorks team penetrate the market with targeted branding that ranges from traditional and conventional to edgy and urban. Seeing the big picture has always been a part of her process. After earning a degree in graphic design from Humboldt State University, she worked in a series of customer service-focused positions that allowed her to embrace her creativity while still keeping a front-facing approach. While working full-time and raising a family, she decided to earn her master's in business administration and recently completed a digital marketing certification. She's passionate about supporting personal and professional development and positively influencing the current and upcoming generations to take action towards permanent and positive change. We are delighted to have the three of you here with us today, as well as your special guests, and we look forward to all of the great content that we are going to learn from you. With that, I will turn the virtual stage over to you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer, and the Buyer's Edge platform team for your warm invitation and a warm welcome to everyone on this call today. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce you to two of our featured guests. We have Alyssa, hi Alyssa, and Stephen. Alyssa works with Spectrum Retirement as a regional director and F&B training manager. She oversees implementing policies and brand standards across 50 communities, including training and new opens. Alyssa wears many hats, including one today. She has an integral role in the development and launch of the uniform program that we put in place going on our 3rd year, which is a national program based out of Colorado, 50 locations, 15 communities. Hi, Stephen.
What's happening?
Hey. Stephen has been a ChefWorks client partner for almost 20 years. He's worked in several different industries, including country clubs, resorts, hotels, and restaurants. He is now producing 2 TV shows, as well as consults with all types of operations. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, yeah.
Welcome. As industries continue to operate and open up, the power of the uniform is such an important part of the operations. ChefWorks and Buyer's Edge platform has an amazing program available to you today. We will be sharing some of the benefits and features of your program over the next 30 minutes. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Enrique. Over to you. You're welcome.
Thank you. I think one of the most important things is we start talking about the power of the uniform. As we look at the world, the capabilities when a supply chain, we've certain things turned upside down. Aside from what happened to us locally in our restaurants or any of our industries, we figured out how to be able to sustain that. And I think one of the power of the uniform for us is how do we actually look at our capabilities throughout the world. We look at our next slide. Our company's been in existence for about 50 years, and we've built that brand across the globe. Our major headquarters are in San Diego, but we have offices in Canada that be able to help actually distribute out into the East Coast. We have Europe, and we also have Asia as being our platforms. But then aside from that, we're in 80 different countries that basically looks at our supply chain collectively. So when we have problems in one region for whatever's happening, we have backup options for risk mitigation that I think a lot of other companies don't have those best possibilities, because we make the same garment in different parts of the world. If a part of a supply chain is broken for whatever is happening, floods, natural disasters, we have backup plans to be able to mitigate that. So if we look at just overall as a solution, I think ChefWorks has a good global presence and also have backup plans in case something goes wrong and how we can be able to support the spikes in the industries. After that, back to Holly.
Thank you, Enrique. That's a perfect segue into the next slide. So as we all know, every single industry has been affected by the pandemic over the last year. So within that global framework that Enrique just spoke of, these are some of the industries that we service globally. Restaurant chains, including independents, anywhere from a single unit to a national chain to a regional. Senior living communities and healthcare, hotels, casinos, country clubs, club groups, food service management groups, bowling alleys, entertainment centers, corporate and catering and food trucks. So what we've seen is business leaders are looking for creative, cost-effective solutions for success with the right vendors. The program we have in place with Buyer's Edge platform as a Beyond Prime vendor is a great opportunity for us to work together as you navigate in the new year. Folks are taking this opportunity to reassess every piece of their business, and uniforms are a crucial part of that picture. Amanda, over to you.
Well, I get the pleasure of getting to hassle. Hopefully you guys can hear me because I can't see you. I get the pleasure of hassling Chef Co here with a couple of questions. So, Chef, let's go ahead and kick it off real quick. And first I just want to say congratulations on beating Bobby, number one.
Thank you.
Right? Very, everybody give a hand on that because that's amazing. Second, could you, I know that you've worked in multiple industries, restaurants, country clubs, resorts, right? All the above. Can you share your experience with the audience today on what you did and how you worked with ChefWorks with those various audiences and respective industries?
Well, like how the world started changing like 20 years ago to now, and you said the power of the uniform. I wanted my guys and girls and my team, anybody that even down to the dishwasher, all looking good. So when they left my kitchen, they represented us in a whole new level. I wanted my team to look like rock stars, right? And ChefWorks has that gear that we need to, from headwear, the new apron lines, the urban wear. They're adapting. They're making it easier for the chef to look like rock stars, opposed to, and get away from those rental companies. And I made sure any place I went to, I brought on ChefWorks, whether it's Buyer's Edge program or to accomplish that. And I showcase it. Even if I'm not supposed to wear it, it makes an appearance somewhere. If I'm on the Food Network, I make them block it out.
That's awesome. And yet another reason why we love you so much. You talked about power of the uniform, right? And can you talk a little bit about how that plays into employee role identification, and how that then also ties into, customer satisfaction and also supporting that guest experience?
Yeah, we set up where from each position has a certain color or a certain uniform, so they can be represented and they can be recognized from the guest or the customer or the member or whoever it is that way to make it easier. Uniforms, hats, different color aprons, name tags. And I like the fact that I can just go to one outlet, ChefWorks, for everything. It makes it a lot easier now, and it's built up over the years, which is great, which you didn't really have that option anymore. And like I said, I do not like rental companies, especially for chef clothes, because it's a standardized box square cut uniform and no one looks good on them. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah, potato sacks are for potatoes, right?
Yeah. And I like the way the aprons are going, how I represent in this I'm building a cooking school now too, where for kids, and they have to test out. And the only way they level up like a karate school is at the belt color. So their apron colors are going to be different. And it's going to be all ChefWorks gear, the chef coats for the little kids, which is awesome. My kids love those, And when I do cooking classes with kids now, I hand them out, I sign them for kids, so we're elevating that game. I'm using ChefWorks products to be like that rock star.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. That's amazing. Do you think, just last question here before we move on, do you think that having those kind of color coordinated, this is the manager, this is the server, this is your busser, helps elevate and drive kind of customer recollection and customer satisfaction?
Yes, 100%. It looks very organized that way, and everybody knows their position, and it's a lot cleaner that way. From, like I said, from the bartender to the bar back, so where to go to if you have a question or the roles are in place. The brigade is set.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chef. Really appreciate it. Great answers and really awesome insights. Holly, I'm going to throw it back over to you, just to talk a little bit about Power of the Uniform, but let me kick you off a bit. So, because obviously, and I'm going to try to keep this really short because I could probably talk for eons and years about this subject, right? You've got the business, you've got your employees, and then you have your customers, and all three of those intersect together to really make success, right? So part of what uniforms do, which is what Chef brought up, right? It unifies the employees, right? It helps support that brand recognition. It helps create those memorable first impressions from a satisfaction standpoint to have that reoccurring business come back. It drives confidence not only in your guests but also in your employees at the same time, driving team spirit and really giving them a sense of pride. I have to say that it's very easy, right? If you know what you're going to wear to go to work, it makes it one less decision that you have to make in your very busy decision making day, right? Like everybody's making, I think, more decisions these days post COVID here as we come out the other end, and one less decision is just that much more of a relief, right, in your day to day. So uniforms kind of unite that all of those three pillars from a business standpoint. Holly, anything else to add?
No, this absolutely covers it. I will say one thing, it's very interesting. So when we get up in the morning or in the afternoon or in the evening, we dress. Stephen, 2 o'clock? Alyssa, I don't know. We dress in a certain way.
I'm home at that point.
Yeah. So we dress for a reason. It represents our individuality and our uniqueness. So there's an expression by Muccia Prada, and she says it's a famous expression. Fashion is instant language. So the uniform is an instant language, right? And it's on every employee that's moving throughout your operations. They're conducting business. So it's that branding, and it's super, super critical to have the right look, have a quality garment, and something that's representing your brand.
Absolutely.
Spot on. Love this slide. Well, as we know, pandemic effects. This is something that everyone on this call is very familiar with. The last year has been extremely challenging. Every single industry has been impacted. Everyone on this call has been impacted individually and collectively within your operations. So throughout this pandemic, we've seen several business models, right? Some strategies, creative thinking. We're seeing rooms delivery for senior living. Alyssa, this rings true to you, right? All the dining rooms were shut down. They had to have the meals delivered. When they opened back up, they had to have multiple meal times, right? It's incredible what happened during this. But at the same time, there's been so many various opportunities and arms and channels of business. So we have outdoor seating, right? I'm working with a chain that in 2019, one of their 2021 objectives was to open outdoor seating. That moved right up the line, and every single one of their 100 locations had outdoor seating. It was amazing. There's another chain I've been working with, about 60 locations. They're opening 14 this year. They happen to have the business model already set for takeout, curbside, and delivery. Their sales rose to the roof. Q4, my business review, I said, how's it going? He said, we've never been doing better. So it brings new opportunities, or it enhances other opportunities that the business model already has in place. Next slide, Amanda.
Got it. Yeah, let me jump in here. So, and you wanted to say a little bit of something about the facial coverings, right? Because that's obviously a super big deal with COVID.
So who would ever get, a year ago, this is a mandatory piece of the garment that you have to wear as a uniform. Not even a uniform, all of us going out in public. So this is an amazing piece that we carry, and Jennifer will be sending out information on this particular piece. We have several designs, but they're fantastic. They're reversible, they're water washable. There's about 5 different styles. Amazing.
Easy to breathe in. They don't clog on your nose. They're really nice. You don't get that, what the estheticians now are calling it, acne or something, like you don't, like your face won't break out.
Right? Right?
They're awesome masks if you don't have them. They really are good.
Thank you, Alyssa. And I don't know if you guys have done this too from your properties that you're with too. Maybe not senior living so much, but you know, one of the trends we saw was that restaurants specifically, right, that had entryways or where people came in before they were seated, actually turned those entryways into storefronts, and they were selling the food and the wine and making breads out to their local communities to not only help support the community, but to also not waste the food that they had when everything, you know, kind of shut down on March 13th. I thought that was a pretty ingenious way to pivot quite quickly and also be able to drive additional revenue streams back into the business so it can stay afloat. Ghost kitchens are popping up left and right. Food trucks have been around, but now they're even more popular. And then, you know, Holly, I'm going to throw it back to you to the adherence aspect. Talk a little bit about, you know, incorporating the uniform policies into the hiring process, actually.
Absolutely. Just a quick note on number 6. Another idea folks are doing, they're incorporating retail sales of baseball hats and aprons. They're utilizing our product to support, once again, that another arm of business. So that's an idea that I'd love to share on the call. To number 8, the adherence and incorporation of strict uniform policies into the hiring, orientation, training, employee handbook. I will tell you, for as long as I've been with ChefWorks, there's always been an interest from operators and GMs or executive directors, whomever puts the uniform policy in place, to have us help them incorporate that into their handbook. Over the last year, it has been phenomenal, the feedback. People are coming to us. Number 1, there's hundreds of success stories that folks are coming to us to help work with them as they open up their operations. But this particular subject matter has been brought to the forefront, and it's incredible. And this actually leads to Alyssa. Alyssa, we've worked together for 3 years, right?
Yeah. It doesn't seem like that long, but yeah,
it doesn't at all. So I have a question for you. Employee uniforms are super important, part of the operations, right? Some of your key focuses include implementation of employee policies and supporting your company's standards of excellence. From a branding and operations standpoint, what were the key factors that went into your team's decision to partner with ChefWorks for your national program?
You know it's funny is I work directly with the Senior VP of Food and Beverage for Spectrum, David, and his approach to it was different than my approach. So he was honestly really worried about the finances, costs, you know, and the quality. Meanwhile, from an operator standpoint, I'm worried about, do they look good? I mean, as Chef Steven said, we previously were renting, which was not a positive experience. And I'm being nice. It was not a positive experience, but nobody looks good in those square, like it doesn't. And so nobody is like excited to put their uniform on. And so from my perspective, I wanted to make sure that people looked good, people felt good, they were comfortable, but they, you know, they're not going to stain, they're not going to change colors, they're not going to look wrinkly and yucky. And so we kind of came at ChefWorks with two different really needs, you know, my stuff for operations and David's for financial. So those were our two main driving forces to get out of the rental and into purchasing.
Absolutely, thank you. And how does customization tie into, I guess, resident experience, customization of the program?
For senior living, it's a little different than my previous work with bars and hotels and things like that, in that our residents, some of them have memory loss and things like that. So it's really, really important. They have all been trained to not open a door unless you see that logo or that uniform. That it's a safety thing for us. It also helps us with family members as they are coming in. If something's going on, they know immediately who to go to within, you know, our area. And so really for us, it's a huge safety thing. What I do like too about our heart of house, our kitchen uniform, is we made the decision to go with one uniform, the utility shirt for the kitchen. And so we were really trying to build that as Chef Steven said earlier, build that team, build that rock star, make sure that everybody felt good together. So whether you're a dishwasher, you're a line cook, you're the expo, you're the executive chef, you're all one cohesive team, you're all working together. And so that uniform really helps build that team. So nobody's better or higher or anything like that. We're here to make excellent food and create great dining experiences, all of us. So that helped a lot.
Excellent. No, it's great. And there's been great feedback from you and your team in terms of the processes of the orders from the executive director level at each community, and the turn time. So we appreciate your partnership, both of you. It's been amazing. Amazing. Big heart.
You're great.
Beep. Thank you, Amanda. So as we step into the next few slides, I know we're kind of, we have only a few minutes left, so I think we'll probably swiftly go through some of these. You're going to see some incredible cost-saving solutions. I'm going to go over this very quickly. Buyer's Edge platform has an amazing program. As I said before, it's 45% off retail pricing off all of our product lines. ChefWorks manufactures an array to fit every single employee tier and department within your operations. It's not just kitchen, it is front of the house, it's maintenance, it's engineering. Rapid turn times. So whether you have a single unit or we build a customized portal for you, turn times within 2 weeks you have your product for customization. They're out quick. It's like a reflex. Consolidating purchases. This is extremely important. We work with operators. Instead of sourcing your garments through maybe a local vendor and then ordering them, maybe another piece of your garments from another vendor, shipping them to another place to get embroidered. By the time you get everything from, you know, multiple places, you're waiting, what, 3-4 weeks. So consolidating purchases, whether it's a simple apron or it's a full solution that you're looking for. A wash and wear, quality driven, the craftsmanship of ChefWorks garments is amazing. And Alyssa, if we had more time, and Steven, you could attest to this. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. The checks and balances that ChefWorks goes through from a quality control standpoint is it's extremely rigorous.
Yes.
Designing, right? You have coats from 20 years ago.
Yeah, I still rock them out. and they fit, so it's awesome.
Also, I want to bring up once again that purchasing versus renting, there is a cost savings. There's about a 20 to 30% of cost savings with purchasing versus renting. If you need to stay in a rental for specific sanitation reasons, folks sometimes will stay with an apron, the mats, the mops, and the towels. And then we have reporting access. So every single Buyer's Edge ChefWorks customer has access to a live dash. It's run out 52 weeks, 24/7. You're able to look at order history, invoices, credit notes, ordering behaviors, and also compliance from a standardized program. If you run these reports, you're actually able to see who's not purchasing and who perhaps is going rogue, spending more money somewhere else and not staying with the standardized program. This is very, very important, this slide. And then that goes right into ordering processes. Ordering is made super, super easy. You have a website. Once you're a Buyer's Edge platform ChefWorks customer, you can access your pricing immediately. You can order online from our full retail catalog, or we can create a standardized portal for you if it's a national program or a regional program. Beep. This is a great slide, Enrique. I'm going to pass this to you.
So one of the great things that we've been working on for some time is making our product sustainable. And that sustainable story is important. And I think a lot of folks have worried about jumping to sustainable and thinking it's going to be completely different because they've had some bad experiences. We took the time to making sure when we launched a product that you don't tell the difference. And it takes time to get that hand feel, because it's something that it's not just about being first to market and being in the item. It has to be at the end, as the chefs have talked today, they have to feel good in it. Because if they got something that looks good in the yeah, it's gonna, but you're too hot and it's gonna be uncomfortable. You've done it for the wrong reasons, right? And it's exactly, Amanda, the itching. That's one of the common themes that from a product. We spent the time to do it right and not just to be first to market and to have it. It's continuing our story and our pursuit to get it right and continue throughout the rest of our products to bring more sustainable materials into our line to be part of our brand. So this is the first start. Our coats are between 15 and 17 water bottles that are used in some of our polyester, right? Our blends are polyester cotton. But our pursuit now is year after year, we're going to keep on expanding that into all of our product until we get everything. You know, the long-term goal is to get to that goal because it's the right thing to do. And I'm proud of the work that we've done, and I'm even more excited what's in the future for us.
What's great about that also, it's a full range, right, Enrique, for the culinary team, and it feels like brushed cotton. It's super soft. The next slide, we actually touched upon it earlier, the facial coverings. So they're reversible. I don't know if you can see this. There's one side and then the other side, and they have matching apparel pieces that can go with them, whether it's a denim coat. I don't know if you can see this on the video, or if it's something elegant that you want to match this with a fine dining restaurant location. And you can also utilize
we love
you can utilize the switching of it, whether it's AM, PM. Beep.
Awesome.
And then Harley, you want me to take this one?
Sure, you got it.
Yeah, so part of our design process is also about making sure that the uniform isn't just, or the garment isn't just a garment, right? Like, blah, that's kind of boring. So what we do in the design process is we also make sure that there's bifunctionality, means there's something for the wearer and there's also something for the business at the same time. So for example, lightweight venting fabrics, with Chefco brought up, right? It helps that airflow go through. So it's not just a jacket, but there's also fabric designed specifically to help that airflow to keep you cool. You know, designing aprons that have interchangeable straps so you can be color coordinated with what your positions are, right? Or what your color palette is in a property, right? You know, we've got roll-up sleeves with tabs. We've got collars on the back, tab collars on the back that actually will hold the apron in place so it doesn't ride up. Now, that's even on a server side and on a culinary side, chef side. So You know, we want to make sure that when we design the uniforms, we design them so they're multifunctional, they're bifunctional, they got multiple reasons and purposes that help that uniform be more than just a uniform. Hopping over to some of my favorite stuff that we got stopped when we were trying to launch in March of 2020 and then COVID came in. So Holly, why don't you talk a little bit about Contemporary?
This is an absolutely amazing line. It ranges from catering banquet coats to beautiful high-end fabrics and textures of shirts and aprons. It actually works for, believe it or not, like elegant casual country, they call it. I don't know if you've heard of this term. It's actually been around the last several weeks. I've worked with folks that are looking to open and they're looking for this casual country. It's amazing. Once again, they're water washable, so you don't need to dry clean these items. Actually, all of our items are water washable except for the super premium coats. We recommend a certain washing and maybe dry cleaning for those, but easy to care for, presentable. I know, Jennifer, I see you, so that means our time is almost up. Do we have 3 minutes? How much time do we have left?
If we want to just hop into Q&As, if we can, we are at 2:30, so I just want to make sure that we don't take up everyone's afternoon.
Sure.
We had a couple of questions come in, so I will just read through those. What are some of the common challenges that clients share with you that they experience within their uniform programs prior to coming on board as a ChefWorks client?
That's a great question. Some of the challenges go from anywhere from pricing. Pricing is resolved because it's 45% off. It's the best pricing in the marketplace. Purchase versus rental, uncomfortable perhaps in a spun poly coat. The lack of female and male sizes and the range that we have, female to male, it's almost every item has a female companion from front of the house to the back of the house. Breaking down of fabrics, the garments aren't lasting. Some of the things we've touched in the PowerPoint, they're really not lasting. They're just breaking down, ripping, buttons are falling off. And customer service, lack of response. So something with our team, we have a full customer service team that is able to support you from a program implementation standpoint to a program management standpoint. So some of those things sort of, and Alyssa can speak to that, and Chef Steven. So those are some of the things that we've encountered that we're here to provide assistance for.
Great. The next one is, so we have 80 locations and have intentions of expanding the franchise arm of our business model. Currently, 40% of our units are corporately owned and 60 are franchised. Once we build out a uniform program, our corporate owned units ideally would be invoiced, but is there a credit card option for the franchises to offer their employees?
Another good question. Absolutely. So we can actually build out programs, identical mirrors through a portal. So employee credit card option and then corporate invoice option. And as they expand, if they're adding categories in fact, we just did this with Alyssa, as they add categories in, let's say they have a new concept, it's super easy just to build that right into their portal.
Perfect. So that is all that we have time for, but before we wrap up, ChefWorks does want to raffle off a personalized chef coat to one lucky attendee today. This will give you a great product sample of what ChefWorks is capable of and will leave you looking refreshed and relevant in your operation. The winner has been randomly selected and is Brandon V. Brock. I will reach out to you personally, Brandon, and I will connect you to the ChefWorks team so we can ensure that you receive that jacket. I also want to note to all attendees that we are sending free ChefWorks tote bags to everyone that has attended this webinar, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And also as a quick reminder that whether or not you are a current customer of the Buyer's Edge platform's many brands, but are interested in learning more about what you heard today, feel free to hover your phone over the QR code that is currently on the screen and fill out the form that will come up on your phone, and we will be in touch. That about does it for our time today. Thank you again to the wonderful ChefWorks team, Amanda, Holly, Enrique. It's been a pleasure. And I hope that you all enjoy the rest of your Thursday.
Thank you, chefs.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Both of you.
Bye. Thanks, Jennifer. Thank you, Alyssa. Bye, Chef.